What Remains of Edith Finch. Let's continue from where we were earlier today, or earlier tonight, an hour or so ago. Do apologize, this wasn't right on the dot. I had to finish a few things. I feel like I didn't go through here. I feel like I came from somewhere else. Didn't I? Yeah. Oh, you gotta learn about Dawn. Okay. The Curse of Odin Finch. Entered this. So then this is the area I need to go.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Lewis blamed himself?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Huh. Okay then. Interesting. This place really does have its little secret hideaways, don't it? I'm gonna have to
Lewis's room
do
smelled
something right away.
Very familiar. That part of him lived on.
I think Lewis is gonna be my favorite character here. I need to change something right away. Hold on. There we go. Now I can see messages.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Oh. I mean, I'm familiar with the death in games, but still. Oh.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Hello, Nubla Cobbler. Newly sober.
He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself.
Oh, gods.
In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
Wow, this is weird, controlling both the labyrinth and a fish. A fish!
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
But the right well.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his
cut off
boss.
that hand.
But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
Aww.
So I
Well,
let
that's
him go
not
on.
cool. Lewis seemed chill with that awesome room.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Yes, Doge.
And songs for them to play.
Fish
He
and
talked about
Doge.
starting a band.
And a chat. Can't forget about the chats.
And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Yeah.
Then one day it struck him
Doge is a hellhound.
that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor.
Huh.
And he won.
Okay.
They begged him to stay, but his
He held
mind was
the
already
election.
wandering.
And he won it.
It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Wow. First it started off really, really small, now it's covering more and more of the screen. He's going to seriously go so far that he really will lose his hand or something like that by accident. Without realizing it.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
That's kind of disturbing that his mind wandered that badly. You couldn't even pay attention to that much.
Handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her
You know what? Because of satire, I have to go
Electric
satire.
sitar.
Oh, satire. I suppose satire. Sitar. I got it wrong. I'm a moron.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Of course, a small door. Oh. Okay then. That's a lot of blood for a locker room, regardless if it's a cannery. Yes, the Urbit experience. Yes. Yes.
We began to
the
forget the
yeses.
world we know.
There's a reason for that.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
No hookah.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Thought it was gonna have me do something wrong.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Okay then. But for some reason I thought we were gonna like push him through the little chopper. You think this game is more darker than I think it is, but it's kind of just a
Including
story.
the wise Calico
That's
who
it.
insisted on advising him.
Why is it Calico?
His queen waited, holding his crown. was only one thing left to do. Bend down.
Interesting. Makes sense now.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Damn.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Your brother was the dark stoner. And Nubla Kuber, how'd you know? Kuber. Cover. I don't really know how to pronounce that. I really wish I knew what the heck that came from, but oh well. I guess I don't need to know. Alright, where am I going? No. Oh, there's another way, wasn't there? Ah, turn around. There's something there.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
Okay. Oh.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Maybe easier.
I wish we'd stayed.
You wish you'd stayed?
But I understand why we left.
You did. Kind of just, seems like your missing brother just appeared out of nowhere and killed himself in front of all of yourselves. Because makes no sense. What happened? Why take off? Oh,
What happened that night had been coming for a long time.
Okay.
Maybe I should have come sooner.
Okay.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
I guess so.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. or that Edie had a key to it.
Huh. I really like this house's secret entrances. Kind of makes me wish I had them as well. Imagine growing up in a house like this. Little secret entrances all over the place.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
And what is she so
Edith
afraid
has a
of?
right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
How are the children dead because of the stories?
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Huh. Let's see.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one.
Is there
This
really?
about what happened on the night you were born.
Okay.
That night, the tide went way, way out.
Oh, I'm controlling shit again.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an
Interesting.
earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God,
Good.
it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
It smelled awful.
But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Of course I remember who you are, Nubakuba.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
You know how to misspell a name, and you're not even supposed to put names on here.
I got turned around.
Interesting. Turned around when I was going straight. But, whatever.
For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
I mean, start seeing things in a cloud of smoke this thick.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
I know, right?
But
A
when
bed?
I saw them, they felt like old friends.
You forgot that beds existed?
That night, a lot
Or
of
dressers?
things came back to me.
I mean,
Or maybe I came back to them.
you could have saved some of this shit. Wow.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
No, it
Mom, you're
isn't.
gonna rip it. Let go.
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
Aww.
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
Grandma Edie!
The next morning, the van.
That
came
mom's
to
a
pick her up.
bitch.
She was already gone.
Aww.
After
That's a
that, we
fucked
moved
up
around a
mother.
lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by.
Couple years went by, huh?
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
Okay.
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
Huh. No, I believe your brother's
Until
still
I found out
alive.
about you.
Well, yeah, and your child.
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
Your brother only went missing. He's probably out there
If
somewhere
we
still
lived
alive.
forever,
Just
maybe
wanted
we'd
out
have
of that
time to
place.
understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes.
Huh.
And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
I guess that's true. Really? 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 We have to be the baby being born.
This journal
I could
was
already
supposed to
tell
be for
exactly
you.
what the hell this is.
But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Huh.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Huh. That was a nice little story. Okay. Seems like a very short game. But it is an art game. However, I thought there was more to find out about her missing brother. I also feel stupid that we could have also finished this whole entire thing earlier. Yeah. Nice little end to it all. Annapurna Interactive. Since when did that vegan restaurant become a game company? The end. Replay a story. Nice. Well, that was our play through What Remains of Edith Finch. I hope you all liked and enjoyed our travels on through this family tree. And we shall see you all next time on EXP Grind. I don't really know what we should do next time. Actually, you know what? I know exactly what we're gonna do. Stay tuned if you want to actually go to a little randomness. We're gonna go. I think I'm gonna put on Resident Evil 7. We can screw around in one of the DLCs for a few. So check those out for a bit. See you in a little bit. Laters.